I like that shirt. Really?
Really.
That's awesome. So pink means...
That's just the test.
I know. It just says the pink is going to be girls.
I don't know. Just the test.
That's awesome. Guess when you want to, it happens.
I think I met him sometime in June, probably early June. It might have been May. It was just talking at work. It was pretty casual. And he didn't have a wedding ring on his finger. And every time I talked to him, he didn't tell me that he was in a relationship. He didn't even mention his kids right away either. And then one day he told me that he had 2 kids. I was like, that's pretty cool. And started telling me about his kids.
That sounded like a sarcastic comment.
No, I thought it was kind of cute. I was like, oh, he's a dad. It was like right around Father's Day too. So whenever that is it in June?
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm not good with holidays.
he told me he had kids, and then it was Father's Day shortly after that. So that's what I do know. And I was like, I thought it was cute. And then he's telling me about him. He's pretty excited about him. And then he mentioned that he did have a significant other. And then he told me that those 2 were in the process of a separation.
Did he mention the children's name or his significant other's name?
I didn't know his significant other's name for a while.
On Tuesday, which would have been the 14th of August, you had read some newspaper articles on the 13th and the 14th that regarded this case. You had also had a conversation with Chris at some point during the day on Monday. And on Tuesday, because of what you found, specifically what you said was, and don't let me put words in your mouth, but you found out that his wife was pregnant.
Yes.
And you did not know that prior?
No.
And you found that out via the newspaper articles, and that caused you concern.
Well, I just realized that he was lying to me, and I was like, well, if you can lie to me about this, what else are you lying to me about? And it made me realize that maybe his wife was in danger at that point, and it was day 2, too, and she still wasn't home.
Text messages?
I deleted all of his stuff because he lied to me. I mean, that's what it was. It was the hurt that made me delete it. And then it was the lie that made me start questioning everything else he'd been telling me for the last few days.
And that's when you decided to come forward?
Yes.
Okay. So just for context,
yes.
When people delete stuff off phones, usually we go,
No. It wasn't malicious at all. It wasn't malicious at all. He lied to me. It just hurt. Like, I had never felt like he'd ever lied to me before. And it was a big lie. I mean,
right.
Telling somebody that you're in the midst of a divorce and then you have a wife that has a 15-week-old baby on the way is a huge, huge thing. And I was very taken back. And it was hurt. And so at that point, I deleted it. I had a few
he was just leaving her. He had 2 children, and that was the final take on that.
Yes. I think I know why he lied to me. He lied to me because if I'd have known that he had a child on the way, I'd have never wasted my time with him in the first place. Like, none of this would have ever even occurred if he would have just told me the truth.
So do you think if he found out that you, if, let's say this week you guys were to go look at some apartments, and this is hypothetical, but you've never found out that his wife was pregnant, would that have changed anything? Like you just said, if I knew his wife was pregnant, I wouldn't be in this picture. So if his wife was not pregnant, and forgive me, but if he takes her out of the picture, you're never going to know that she was pregnant, right? I'm not talking about the children. I'm just talking specifically about her. If you only knew, if the kids were still here, and he called you and said, "I'm divorced from my wife," and he gets away with this, do you understand what I'm thinking from his aspect?
I still wouldn't do it. I still wouldn't do it because I'd be like, where did she go?
Okay.
Because I'm under the impression that she's a really good mom. Like, he never bashed her momming skills. Like, no, I wouldn't, no.
Okay.
No.
And that, you see where I'm trying to take that?
Yes.
So you guys never had a conversation about the child, period.
I didn't know at all.
All right. And by your words, if you did know, you would have ended the relationship.
Well, because it wouldn't have made sense to me that he's like, I'm getting separated. Oh, by the way, I have a baby on the way. It's like,
That's 15 weeks.
You are a liar. You're just trying to sleep with me. That's what I would have probably interpreted that as, and I'd have just shut that off at work, and that would have been the end of it.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to go over some typed up notes that NK handed over to Kobach. I think it's very important what she thought was important and stood out that she wrote them down. Another interesting thing is that NK hadn't even met Baumhover yet until September 4th. I don't know, I thought that was kind of odd that the lead detective hadn't even met the mistress. Kobach was the only one who was having all the interactions with her until this date. Another interesting thing is that all interactions between the mistress and Baumhover is not in the discovery. On September 4th, 2018, at approximately 1300 hours, I met with Nicole Kessinger at the CBI headquarters located at 690 Kipling Street, Lakewood, Colorado. I was introduced by CBI agent Kobach, who had interviewed her several times previously to my introduction. I advised Nicole that I am now her point of contact regarding this case and that Kobach would attend other cases he was assigned to at CBI. Nicole acknowledged this information and presented me a 7-page typed document she generated containing notes of events she had recalled since the last meeting with Kobach. The events documented reportedly occurred between 6:25 through 8:13. So this is July 14th. Went to his house to drop him off after we visited the Shelby Mustang Museum in Boulder. While at his house, I felt uncomfortable, as if I did not belong there. You didn't? He had built a beautiful life, and it made me think that there was still a chance for him to fix things with his wife. I told him that I did not think it was fair to SW or to me that he was trying to live 2 lives by being in a relationship with both of us at the same time. Did you just hear what she said? She knew Chris was being with Shanann and her at the same time. Said that I think he either needed to fix things with her and let me go, or he needed to move towards trying to finalize his divorce. I told him that I thought his problems with SW were fixable and that he should focus on trying to rekindle the relationship that they had before giving up. He said that SW was set on separating and that so was he. He said when SW wants something, she gets her way. I told him I did not understand why they hadn't completed the divorce after all these months if they were both so adamant about it. If she wanted it as bad as he stated, I did not understand why it seemed stagnant. At this moment, I realized that he might be lying to me about his separation, so I started quizzing him on things he had told me earlier. Asked him when was the last time he was intimate with his wife. CW told me that the day that the last time he and SW had sex was in May, but had told me on an earlier date that the two had not been intimate since March or early April. I asked CW if he used protection when he slept with her, because he stated on an earlier date that he used condoms when they had sex. He told me that he had not used protection. I asked him if he was lying about his separation. CW said no. I asked him if he was actively trying to have a child with SW since they had unprotected sex. He said no. I left his house. Okay, so this is 7:15. Text and in person. He tells me that he still wants a separation, but this time he states it is because he has never met anyone like me. Told him that he better not be doing that for me and that he needs to be leaving his current situation because it is what he and her both felt is the best for their kids and for themselves. We spoke over the next several days and spent little time together, but I did not want to be intimate with him. I kept telling him that I thought he really needed to fix things with her and to not worry about building a relationship with me anymore. Told him that I'd been asked out on 2 dates since I had known him and that I didn't go on either of one and that I was stood up. Wait a minute. She went on 2 dates and they stood her up, both of them? What are the odds of that? I'm sorry. Okay. Told him that he took the respect and trust from our relationship because I felt like he was lying. I want to repeat that line. Told him he took the respect and trust from our relationship because I felt he was lying. 7:20, continue from above conversation. So this was on 7:20 in person. We attempted to have sex 4 times that evening and he seems mentally interested but physically cannot perform. I asked him what the problem was several times and he kept telling me that nothing was wrong. I told him that he was quiet that day and it seemed like he had something on his mind. I asked him if what was bothering him had to do with the convo that occurred the previous weekend. CW said yes. Told me that initially he was mad that I had been asked out on dates, but then felt that he couldn't be mad because that would make him a hypocrite. Said what was really bothering him was that I kept asking him to try and fix things with SW. CW told me that he would attempt to fix things with her when he was in NC and that he didn't want to talk about it anymore while he was home. The sex from then on for the rest of our relationship was greatly reduced, 3 to 4 times daily to 1 or maybe 2 times, and was not an intimate when it occurred. Sex no longer happened every day we hung out, but was still very frequent. So this is Chris's version of what happened on July 14th. This information is in the Cato book. Yes, I know. Chris Watts' book. Nikki Kessinger freaked completely out, yelled, "What the F are you doing with me then?" Chris Watts and Nicole Kessinger visited Shelby Museum on July 14, 2018. They went to the Watts home prior to eating. Nikki played with Dieter, who led her upstairs. She saw photos of Shanann, Bella, and Cece. Frozen, dazed, confused look on her face. He saw the look of despair. Chris Watts led her to the couch, laid with her, placed his arms around Nikki. "Are you willing to give all this up? Is your marriage that bad?" Chris said he and Shanann had drifted apart, but before he began seeing Nikki, the married couple decided to have a baby. More signs that he was having second thoughts. Nikki knew that the marriage couldn't be that horrible if they were trying for a baby. She left, got in her truck, and texted for 30 minutes. Chris talked her down. Nikki wanted him to chase her down. But blah, blah, blah. Take 2. She left, got in her truck, and texted him for 30 minutes. Chris talked her down. Nikki wanted him to chase her. He didn't. Nikki turned him on because she let Chris calm her down when he said he didn't want a baby with Shanann. Chris didn't tell Nikki that Shanann was pregnant with Nico. Okay, so let's talk about all of that. So we have NK's version of July 14th where she went to the house and she went upstairs. She seen a picture. Shanann was so beautiful. The house was so beautiful, and it just made her question everything when she seen that, right? She no longer wanted to have sex with him anymore. She pulled away from him. She was questioning his loyalty, you know, if he's being faithful to her and is he lying to her, and she starts quizzing him about all this stuff, right? Then you have Chris's version where July 14th, she goes upstairs, she comes down, looks all sad, like a sad little puppy. And, you know, she starts yelling at him like, what the fuck you doing with me then? And is this all worth it? And all of this stuff. And that Chris tells her, you know, oh, that him and Shanann were trying to have a baby before he met Nikki and all this. Now, I kept thinking about when we listened to Nicole talk to Kobach in her interview that I played for you guys earlier, and she talks about when she found out Shanann was pregnant after the murders, right, from the newspapers. Everything she said about how he lied to her and he had never lied to her before, and how, you know, she started questioning everything about the relationship and about the family, and you know, she pulled away, and that's why she deleted everything. She just wanted to cut him out of her life. If you think about everything that Nicole said to Kobach about when she found out about Shanann being pregnant, all of that feelings and everything she said all comes back to July 14th and how she explains everything she felt. I do believe she found out Shanann was pregnant. I believe that she knew she was pregnant before the murders. I believe on July 14th, this is my opinion, I think she was snooping through his phone. We know she used to go through the apps, right? And she went on the Facebook. Because then I started thinking, why would she say she wanted to give Chris his firstborn son? That always never made sense to me, because Shanann and Chris didn't even know they were having a boy yet. So for that comment, it always bugged me. Then I thought, well, let me go on Shanann's page for July 14th and see if she posted anything that day. And I'm going to show you what I found.